So now for the dreaded mirror match. So this is a matchup that I do expect to see a lot of, and a lot of the choices in my deck are created because of the mirror match. Now, the hand that I mulliganed is probably one I should have kept. I had a Nico Robin, a Whitebeard, as well as a Gum Gum Red Hawk, but I just didn't have a 1-drop. I didn't really want that hand precisely, so I went ahead and mulliganed for something better, and eventually we ended up with this, which is not a great start for us. My opponent, so I pass on 1, my opponent goes second here, and he goes and develops a Sunicune as well as the Nami from the starter deck. Now, the Suction Nami is going to prove to be really, really powerful because that card is going to let him basically have 2 leader powers, right? So he has the Zoro ability, and now because he has the structure deck Nami, he's also Luffy. So it's a really, really strong early game card. But fortunately for myself, I do have a Dodon, and Dodon's going to be able to find me a Sunicune of my own so that I can go ahead and develop Sunicune. Now, I swung with 5 before I went ahead and summoned all of my characters because I want to play around the Jet Pistol that could possibly come out of life. Had I summoned my board and then swung into a Jet Pistol, it would just give him a lot more tempo than we can really handle at this point. So he swings at 6 at my lead. I'm opting not to defend it because I want more cards in my hand. I want to see exactly what's on the top of my life because my hand isn't really too great. Fortunately, I do top deck at the Dawn. Dawn finds me a Nami, which is awesome because this is going to allow me to get a lot of value now. Even though the character cards that my opponent has on his side of the field are very, very high impact character cards, I have found myself these tutor cards in the Dawn and the Nami. So those cards are going to have to get me there, if you know what I mean. I'm going to have to use the advantage of summoning a card and adding a card to my hand to win this game. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Nami. Nami's going to find me the Chopper. Now, I would have loved to get the Nico Robin, but I don't think I would have. I'm going to be able to field the Nico Robin at any point in time this game because my opponent has the pre-established Nico Robin. So I went ahead and summoned the Chopper just to juicing up that pot for him to see if he wants to go ahead and turn his Nico Robin sideways. If he is able to turn his Nico Robin sideways, then it allows me to go ahead and swing into the Nico Robin as much as I possibly can and force interaction until eventually I either rip his hand apart or remove the Nico Robin and give tempo back to myself. So he goes ahead and summons the Makino. Makino is going to go ahead and boost the Sunicune, use the Nami's effect to put a Dawn under the leader, and he will just take the bait, swing 6 at my lead while popping my Sunicune. I'm kind of deciding if I want to go ahead and defend this, and I opt to do it at this point. I don't want to get too low. He still has 4 Dawn available because if I do take this 6, he's going to swing 7 here, which I'm going to block. And let's say he put a couple more Dawn on his leader here, then I would be taking 2 points of damage this turn as opposed to 1, which is just a little bit more than I kind of want to bargain for at this point in time. So let's see what he goes and does from here. He has 1 Dawn on leader. He still has 4 Dawn available. He opts to go 6 at my life. I'm going to go ahead and take this one because he can still summon a Zoro here and then swing 7. He does opt to do that. And that is very, very powerful. I do choose to take that life as well. And I do top deck a Jet Pistol, which is really, really solid. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 Dawn on Zoro. Swing Nami at Makino. Swing the Dawn at Nico Robin. Yeah, give me some cards. I'm going to need to catch up. So the best way that I'm going to be able to catch up this game is by removing his board while also removing his hand. And then letting myself establish a board that eventually wins me the game. The only way this strategy loses me the game is if my opponent is able to go ahead and see a bunch of rushers back to back to back. And if he is able to see that, then he's just going to clear my board without me being able to interact with it. So I'm going to go ahead and swing. I'm going to Jet Pistol the Zoro. And then I'm going to be able to develop a 1-drop of my own. And just like that, we removed his whole board while also removing 2 to 3 cards from his hands, which is really, really solid. He does go to 9 at this point in time. I believe, no, this is his 8th turn. So on his 8th turn, he's not able to summon the Whitebeard. But if he was able to summon Whitebeard here, then that'd be really, really spooky for me. And I might have had to, hold the Jet Pistol. But fortunately, he was going to 8 Dawn. So he's going to attach 2 to his leader because of Nami's ability. He's going to go 7 at my face. And yeah, I'm starting to get a little low. I could drop 2 cards out of my hand to go ahead and defend this, and I think I will do that. I don't want to go exactly down to 1 life. The only scenario that I would like to go down to 1 life is if I had a Whitebeard in hand. Then I wouldn't feel as bad. So he goes ahead and summons Luffy, and he basically goes 7-7. And he's deciding where he really wants this Luffy to go, but it has no place to go but besides my face. This is his win condition at this point in time, just rushing me out of the game, right? And making sure like you better have like the counter power to get out of this, or you lose immediately. So he has one Dawn available. He could summon something here, or he could go ahead and bluff like a Radical Beam. So currently the Radical Beam is not activated, right? Because he is at 3 life. So if I go ahead and swing at his character, so I go 6 at Luffy. Now 6 at Luffy should probably go ahead and remove it, so feel good about that one. And then I'm gonna have to go ahead and deal some damage this turn, right? As much as I don't want to, I have to be the aggressor now and swing for as many points in life as I possibly can. I opt to go with the Dawn. If I'm gonna go ahead and swing for 5, the Dawn should be the one that swings for 5, as it goes ahead and allows me to play like a Magra or a Makino or something along those lines to boost up the Sunny if he goes ahead and chooses to take these points in damage, right? Because if he just takes the damage on the board, he's going to be in a bad spot. So I could opt to swing with the Sunny here and then Magra the Nami and then summon a Zoro 7k at face. So I'm trying to think of how I want to go ahead and use my Dawn here. So I opt to go just with the 5. 5 sounds pretty fine to me. He takes it. I opt to go and probably... Now I could Magra here, but I'm choosing to keep cards in hand just because I would need counter power. He opts to defend that one. I go ahead and play the Dawn. The Dawn's going to have to find me a 2k, which she does. Really, really solid for me. I'm going to save the Zoro for next turn. So I try to grab as much counter power as possible while also leaving one Dawn up myself to kind of bait the Radical Beam to my opponent. So he goes ahead and summons a Whitebeard. Not great for us, but let's see where we go from here. He opts to go ahead and put a Dawn under the Zoro. He swings 6 at my... Sorry, 8. 8 at my Sunnykun, and I am super okay with that, right? Because that gives me a little bit more breathing room. Although I'm unable to remove this Whitebeard at this point in time, I am able to at least keep cards in hand. Which, honestly, it's a consolation prize. So removing the Sunnykun is probably the best play from my opponent, because if I can't remove this Whitebeard, I am most certainly lethal on the following turn. So he goes ahead and puts a Dawn under the Gordon, and Gordon is going to go ahead and swing over probably my Nami. And yeah, 4 on 2. Now I could go ahead and defend this Nami, but if I defend this Nami, then I don't necessarily know if I can like afford to. So this was a mistake, and I definitely should have defended it and tried to keep the Magra and Makino as cards to go ahead and boost and swing over on my opponent's turn. But I chose not to do that. So he goes ahead and swings at my Dawn. The Dawn's probably not one of the cards that's going to declare an attack this turn, so I don't really mind it going. But by tapping out entirely, that puts us in a really solid spot. Now I want to go ahead and check my trash because I top deck an Uda. Now I can go ahead and add a Chopper to my hand, but again, Chopper really isn't going to be doing too much this turn, so I'm going to go ahead and play a Nami. I was trying to find a Jet Pistol here, but I do whiff on the Nami, which is unfortunate. And then I have to decide how I want to go ahead and play these next couple of turns. Definitely the Dawn's going to clear this Nami because it's just free. I was trying to find the Jet Pistol and then just like Gordon, Otama, Jet Pistol, the Whitebeard, because at that point I'm in a really solid spot. Then I'm going to swing at my opponent for 10. He's going to take this, go down to 0, and then I'm going to pass my turn here. And I'm going to try to use all these very powerful cards in my hand to win the game here. So he goes and puts a Dawn under his leader. He's now at 6. And as long as I'm able to counter out, then I'll be in a really solid spot here. But had I defended the Nami, there was an opportunity for me to go lethal there. And instead of like placing my Dawn into trying and clearing the Whitebeard, I could have possibly just gone for game. So he goes 6 at my lead. He goes 7 at my lead. I go ahead and 2k, 1k. And then I'm kind of sort of out of counter power here. He goes 7. And unfortunately, if I had one more counter in my hand, I would have been able to get out of this one pretty cleanly. So now it needs to be exactly Red Hawk in life in order for me to win this game. And unfortunately, it's not. So this one is going to be taken by my opponent. That small misplay of not defending the Nami probably cost me the entirety of the game. So the fact that he had a Luffy in hand means that he may have had 1 or 2 more bricks, which could have possibly let me go ahead and, push through it with the Nami using Makino and Magra offensively. So I'm going to go first again this time. This is a hand that I do want to keep, as The jet pistol is really, really good, especially if you're the one that's the aggressor. If you're the one going first, jet pistol is very, very powerful. So I'm on the play. I go ahead and I see my 1-drop, which is excellent. I play my Nami. Nami's going to go ahead and find me either a Brook or a Chopper. Now, I would opt to grab the Chopper if I had a turn 2 play. Unfortunately, I don't really have like a Nico Robin or something of that nature that I care to Chopper too much, so I opt to go for the Brook instead. He does open a Nami of his own, which will find a Sunicune, which I'm assuming is going to come down right about now. So it does, and then I'm going to go ahead and swing 5k at lead. And now I could play Nami, and Nami can go find me a card, but I opt to just summon a Zoro and pass. Now, the big punish, because my hand is not great. It's pretty good, but it's not great at this point in time. And the big punish is if he's able to jet pistol me right now. If he jet pistols my Zoro, then we're in a really, really tough spot. I could have swung with it in order to mitigate that from happening, but I honestly just would have rather taken the risk at this point in time. If I turn my Zoro sideways, then he kind of just like clears it for free with his board, and then we're just in a much worse spot. I have to give up my hand, and it's not a winning position. So he did not have the jet pistol, and I immediately saw that. And then I guess he liked my play so much, he went ahead and did it himself. So I'm going to go ahead and just jet pistol the Zoro. Now, I did have the out, which is really solid. And I could play a Chopper here and go 5-5 Chopper, which is not necessarily bad. But I kind of am just a little bit greedy. I want to play the Nami and use the Nami to find me something else at this point in time. Now, I want to grab another Zoro, probably, and I'm going to just apply pressure. That's all I can do at this point in time. So next turn, my turn is going to consist of me being very aggressive and being my swing turn. So I'm going to go ahead and aggro him down, try to keep up 2 Dawn to Red Hawk him if possible, and then win from there. So he goes ahead and 6 is my leader. I will gladly take this point in damage. Now I have a couple 2Ks, but it's literally just a couple. It's just not enough for me to consider probably defending this. So I go ahead and I let this resolve, and I get another Zoro in my hand. I mean, I like Zoro, but man, this is a lot of Zoro. And then maybe my opponent gets a little bit impatient here and turns his board sideways, which would be probably the best case scenario for me, because then I can eat his board, play a Chopper, keep up a Red Hawk, and then like I'll be super duper safe. So he goes Makino, pump the Sunny swing for 7. I'm not defending a 7. I've just drawn no counter out of life, which is kind of terrifying. Doesn't look good for the homeboys at this point in time. And he still has 4 Dawn available. If he puts the 4 Dawn on the Nami, then we're in for a world of hurt. He goes ahead and places the Brook. Brook puts 2 on the Nami, and here we go. So Nami's currently at 5. He goes ahead and attaches the last 2 Dawn. He can swing for another 7 this turn. And then, yeah, very scary. Very, very scary stuff. But by doing this, once again, he opens the board to me being able to deal with his board. And he's not much more ahead than I am in terms of life, but he went double Brook. So he removed 2 2Ks to summon possible attackers, right? Because if he doesn't do this, then he's not in a spot to like really contest me on the following turn. So he plays the Brooks down, which is a card that, again, he's just an aggressive 2K. He comes down and he pumps damage while also creates a body. So I want to get as many cards out of his hand as possible. He shouldn't be defending any of these hits. So let's see if he opts to do so. And he correctly identifies that that's just not the case. I'm going to go ahead and swing 6 at his lead. I'm just swinging bases at this point in time because I don't want to go ahead and, put any more Dawn than I need to. I'll swing 6 at lead, 6 at lead. He gave me a 2K. He took the other one. I play a Chopper, and I'm going to pass. Now, my board is completely sideways, so now he has to deal with my board or go for lethal. But by leaving 2 Dawn up, he can either be thinking, oh, he has 2 Radical Beams in hand, which is insane. If I had 2 Radical Beams in hand, then he's in a really, really bad spot. But by having the Gum Gum Red Hawk, I'm also in a really excellent spot as well. So he goes ahead and goes 6 at my 2. Now, I could opt to block with the Chopper here, but I'm thinking if I go ahead and just Red Hawk and pitch a 1K, so I'm going to go ahead and Red Hawk and pitch a Magra, I get to remove one of the Brooks, which is really, really solid. So his Gordon, he only has 1 more attacker on the board, which is the Brook, and if he swings the Brook at the Zoro, I can block it with the Chopper, and then if he wants to summon a Rusher from hand, then he's forced to do so. So he puts 1 Dawn on the Brook, I block, and then now I'm like, give me a Rusher, or I'm just going to go ahead and eat you on the next turn. So he goes Luffy at Zoro, and I'm not going to defend that one, but now we're in a pretty solid spot. I didn't take any points of damage that turn. Feels kind of good. So I have the Jet Pistol that's going to go ahead and remove this Luffy from the game. So I just need to go ahead and take the Brook out, take him out for a walk just like this. And then I'm just going face. Or... oh, he gave me a bonus card. Will he give me another one? He did not. So the pistol did not really get its point across. But I will get the Dawn. The Dawn will give me Nami. Nami's going to try to find me a 2K or a chopper probably. That's what I'm looking for. I will take the Gum Gum Red Hawk every single day. And then I'm going to use my other Nami as offensive pressure, swinging in for 6. And I still have the Zoro in hand that I can use as a potential rusher on the following turn to push for lethal. So he goes ahead and plays a Whitebeard. And he swings 7? Maybe 8? Now he has 4 cards in hand and 1 life, but he does have the Whitebeard, which again, God, Whitebeard is so powerful. So he goes to swing at the Zoro. Now I can go ahead and obviously I have no blocker, so the blocker step is completely bypassed. And I could Red Hawk this, which I think I opt to do because I want to keep as many possible attackers on the board that I can. So I'll go ahead and defend it, and then I'll draw a card. I'll put 1 Dawn on Zoro. 1 Dawn on Zoro, and then I'll swing 7. He's going to have to give me a card at this point in time. Let's see if he gives me a 2K or what he decides to give me. He gives me a 1K, so that's fine. I'll go 7 again. I'm going to use Magra and Makino offensively here, and I want to tell him to give me another 7, which there's a couple ways to do that, right? I can either put 3 Dawn under the Dawn, or I can summon Zoro, but Zoro plus a Dawn is 4, so it's a little bit more. He takes this hit, and if he does have a Radical Beam, then I'm kind of doomed, but it is what it is, you know? So I don't think I can live through the next turn, even though I have Gordon. Gordon doesn't get me there, but I think the best possible play was just Makino Magra. I was thinking to myself, what if I possibly could just stall this out and then use my Makino Magra defensively, but that definitely wasn't the case. So, fortunately though, we were able to take the win.